Hello everybody. Today we are going to start with the first chapter of maths, that is GST, Goods and Service Tax. Goods and Services Tax. Now, as such, we can consider that this is quite a complicated kind of a subject because it involves too many things to be done at the same time. You don't need to worry about that thing because as such your syllabus does not have something too complicated. It is just a simple kind of a thing which is going to be there. So but overall, yes, people always feel that the GST and the application of GST in the country for any kinds of goods and all is always going to be slightly complicated in nature. So let us go through a slight about a history of this particular taxation coming up in our country. First of all, let us understand the types of taxes. So taxes can be defined, or we can say the taxes are of two kinds. One is called as a direct tax and other is called as an indirect tax. Okay, direct and indirect tax. A direct tax is the one which is paid directly by you in terms of the cutting of your salary और कुछ भी अगर कोई income tax deduction है या corporate tax deductions है. So all those tax deductions which takes place from your income directly and which goes directly into the government is called as the direct tax. So income tax would be the most common one which we see as the direct tax. So direct tax contains things like income tax, profession tax, or we can say property tax. All those taxes which are given directly to the government by the people is called as the direct tax. Well, indirect tax is the one in which the person doesn't pay directly to the government, but whenever he is taking any services or buys any particular product, at that time he is paying that tax to that vendor or to that person from he is buying the product or buying the services. Like for example, if you go to buy a particular pen, suppose I go to buy this particular pen, and it is written over that the pen is costing, let's say, 50 rupees, then and plus taxes, so it will be meaning that I am not going to pay 50 for this thing, I am going to pay maybe 10% tax agar rahega, so 50 plus 10% of 50 or 55 rupees for this pen. So basically what I did was that I paid 5 rupees as a tax to the government when I paid this thing, but I didn't pay it to the government, I paid it to the shopkeeper, and the shopkeeper in turn will pay it to the government. So basically that's why it is an indirect tax, because you don't pay directly to the government, but you are paying via somebody, you are paying through somebody for whatever services or the product what you are buying. So whenever you buy any product, you always find that when you get the bill will, even you go to a restaurant to have food, उसमें भी आएगा जितने ये खाए सब कुछ items है, and then you'll have this much amount and the tax is this much, and according to the total bill is this plus tax, and hence it will be total is different. So you'll find that always the tax is being applied for any services or anything we buy, and that's why that comes under the category of indirect tax. So hence GST is also an indirect tax. So we see to it that the GST what we are learning in this subject, in this topic today, is an indirect tax. It's a kind of an indirect tax. So when you talk about GST, we need to understand, before we start with the GST, we need to understand certain terminologies which we are using for the GST. GST ke pehle, ya to even not only GST, for buying and selling. So we very well know that we have been studying the chapters of profit and loss, and in case of the earlier standards like 8th standard में 9th में तो कम था, but 8th standard में या 7th standard में you had a chapter about percentage profit and loss and all those things. So Yes, we need to remember those terminologies. Their terminology is what we use over there. We need to remember that. So accordingly, the first thing is CP. What is CP? Yes, it is cost price. So what is the cost price? Cost price is at which a person buys an article. Okay, when a person buys an article, his cost price is the CP of that particular article. Similarly, if it is the selling, SP is nothing but the selling price. So selling price is the price at which the person sells the article. So when he sells the article, he is selling it at a particular price, that is the selling price. Now the selling price could be, or we can say one more over here, that is the LP, that is the least power. We can say MP. MP over here is called as the marked price. So marked price is the one at which is marked on the item. So if the pen is marked with 50 rupees on it, the marked price is 50 rupees. So 50 rupees is the marked price. And if there is a marked price, then there is also some kind of a discount. So it will be discount which is given. So discount would be in percentage, to percentage discount. So that will be on the marked price. So marked price minus the discount. So it is going to be marked price minus discount will be equal to SP. So SP will be equal to MP minus discount. And it will be equal to MP if there is no discount. If there is no discount, then MP will be equal to SP. Okay, MP and SP will be the same if the mark price and the selling price will be the same when there is no discount provided on that particular substance or material to be sold. So accordingly, we have mark price. Now mark price can also be called as LP, that is the least price. Mark price, least price, tag value, catalog value, all are the same terms. In any of the question, when you see the catalog price of this thing is so and so, means the mark price is so and so. When you see that the tag value is so and so, तो उसका मतलब है कि उसके ऊपर tag उतने का है, उसका मतलब है MP, that is the mark price is that much. So you'll always find that these are the terminologies which are used. Another thing what you are normally also going to use is some names like the manufacturer. So there will be a manufacturer is a person who makes the article, the one who is going to make the article or make that particular product is the manufacturer. He is going to sell it to the wholesaler. So wholesaler is the one who is going to be the first person to be on. In fact, maybe a wholesaler, or it could also be a dealer. A dealer or a wholesaler is the one who directly buys from the manufacturer. The person who is directly buying the thing from a manufacturer to resell that thing, okay, he's going to resell it. He's not going to directly use that item, but he's going to resell that. Like for example, when you go to buy a, let's take this pen itself again. If I go to buy this pen, do I go to the manufacturer? Do I go to the luxury wala that okay, yeah, Camlin wale ke paas, Camry wale ko jaake मेरे को ये pen चाहिए नहीं. He will not even sell it to me. So what I need to do, I need to go to a shopkeeper. Also, a shopkeeper may be a dealer also, or he may be a lower part of this. So we can see that if I am going to buy, suppose every year I buy something like 5 dozens of pens at a time for my whole year. In that case, I will not buy from a shopkeeper. I will better go to a wholesaler who would give me much more discounts than a shopkeeper. So normally, the third stage over here will be the shopkeeper. The shopkeeper will be the one who will buy the material from the wholesaler and sell it to the people, that is the last chain, that is the retailer. So normally, you will always find that there will be such kind of a 4-tier thing over here, that whenever we see the things to be sold, so selling of the articles will always be in the 4-tier manner. That is, the manufacturer will sell it to the dealer or the wholesaler. The wholesaler dealer will sell it to the shopkeeper, and the shopkeeper will sell it to the retailer, and the retailer is going to sell it directly to the consumer. So sometimes you can, or be better, we'll not take the retailer, we'll take the retailer over here only, so that we are not getting any confusion. Retailer and shopkeeper are one and the same thing, and then it is come to the consumer. So consumer is we people who are going to use the product. So the person who is going to use the product will be the person who is the consumer. So we can see there are 4 tiers. So first one is the manufacturer who manufactures it or produces it. Wholesaler or the dealer who is going to be the first person to buy the material from the manufacturer. He's going to buy it in a huge quantity, bulk quantity, so he gets lots of discounts. And then he may forward some discounts to the shopkeeper or retailer, so he will be getting some discounts from the mark price, and then he sells it at mark price to the consumer. So it is this way the chain in which the supply chain, we can call this a supply chain, by which a product which is manufactured by somebody is going down to the consumer, from manufacturer to the wholesaler or dealer, from wholesaler dealer to the shopkeeper or retailer, and from retailer shopkeeper to the consumer. Okay, this is how the chain goes on about the selling of a material. Now we see the next thing, and that is about GST. Let's understand what is GST, and let's understand why it came up, and also understand that what is the main thing about GST. So GST, as we see, the full form is Goods and Services Tax. Before GST was implemented, we had got all taxes are separate. We had got a sales tax, we had got a profession tax, we had got a excise duty, and there were corporate taxes, and so many different kinds of taxes which were applied on the material before it has been sold. Okay, so it may happen that the manufacturer, when he sells a material for the first time, he will not only sell the material, but he is going to add different taxes to it. So accordingly, the manufacturer will say, okay, this is the cost of the material, so it will be, first thing is the CP of the material, then he will add to it the excise duty, or if it is an thing coming from the abroad, then it will be a customs duty. Then there would be some kind of a levy which would be like a turnover tax, or a tax which is based on this turnover, so it will be a turnover tax. And then there will be a sales tax, the sales tax which is applicable on that. And then there will be some kind of another taxes also depending upon the type of the company. And finally, it comes to the final landing cost. So it was always found that the final landing cost was an addition of many different kinds of taxes. And these taxes, the levy of these taxes, was differing from state to state in India. Each and every state had got their own different ways of taxing the people, and accordingly there was a difference in the value of the item. You can say the cost of each and every item was different in different states because of the difference in the taxation which are coming up over here. To avoid this, we got all of them clubbed together as just one. So it was one nation, one tax, and that is nothing but GST. So GST, automatically what it did was it eliminated so many different kinds of taxes which were applicable on the CP, and accordingly we paid only one tax, and that is the GST. That is quite obvious that initially if the sales tax was only 12% and this excise duty was, let's say, another 15%, this custom duty may be around 15%, and turnover tax may be 1%, and things like that. They did not add the whole thing where it did not happen that it will be 15 plus 12 means 17, so it is 17%. They always, or 27, they made the GST in such a way that they made it slightly less, and accordingly the things became slightly cheaper as the tax collected was finally being reduced. So accordingly they made this tax to be in the range of around 18%. Average, I'm saying an average about 18% is the tax rate what is going to be there. For food items it will be just 2.5%. For some things which is like a clothes and everything is also very much less, only 2.5% के आसपास में. Some products which are very regular based things, then it will be 4%, and some other things will be 18%. For something which is like the liquor and everything is going to be much costlier, so 28%. So always there will be different rates at which the GST is being. But main thing is that you now do not need to have a separate kind of maintenance of records for the excise duty, for the customs duty, for the turnover tax, for the sales tax. Everything being separate. That has been eliminated, and accordingly there is only one and only one tax which is applicable on the goods what you are buying, and that is only the GST. So whenever you go to buy any product, the only tax which is applicable over there is the GST over there, which is a particular percentage. Now, so that makes it a simple thing that overall the costing of all the things became standardized throughout the nation. Throughout the nation, the cost of the things was similar. They were not too different. It is not going to happen that, okay, if you buy certain thing from, let's say, Silvassa or something, it will become cheaper. If you buy something from Goa, it will be cheaper. If you buy something from here, it will be cheaper. No, it is something that they are within that thing, that throughout the nation, the cost has been maintained equally, because the tax structure is such that the taxation for all the states has been equal. So that's the main advantage, that the GST helped in making that particular possible, to make one nation, one tax becoming an important factor. Now, we see certain terms again about the GST. Now, of course, goods means anything which is sold. Anything which is sold is called as the goods. That is, any property or any, like this pen or an article will be the goods. And goods will not be including the money and the securities like shares and all, will not come under the category of goods. They are separate things. Services means any kind of services what we are getting. That is, like we are getting the services of the security guard, if we are getting the services of a teacher, we are getting the services of a bank officer. So all these services what we get, the services, the people who are servicing you, they will be taxing taxing the bill, or they will be given, will be applied, or they will be coming in that category of service taxes. So that's why the GST for those applicable will be service tax, and services will be the main part over here. Now, about GST, first thing is GST is applied at each and every stage, right from the manufacturer to the lowest person who is going to sell that article. Each and every time the GST is going to be applicable, and it is going to be applicable only on the cost price, on the selling price of the material. So whenever you are going to have the GST payable, it will be based on the final selling price of that article. So after discount, whatever is the price applicable, the GST will be applicable on that particular pricing. Of course, how much we give to the government and how much we not to give the government is going to be the next part of the chapter, that is the input credit. So I'm not confusing you right now. I'm just telling you that if somebody tells you that what will be the amount payable or what will be the taxation point of view, it will be such that whatever is the selling price of that article, that particular selling price के ऊपर जो tax लगता है, that is the tax, that is a GST. Now, over here, the GST is again a bit of a regional thing. It is connected to the way of transaction which is going to take place. So the way of transaction which is going to take place, it could be of two kinds. One is intrastate, or let's say it as intrastate, and other is called as interstate. Intrastate means within the state. Intrastate is within the state. And this is outside the state. Interstate is outside state. Now, of course, we know state could be also the union territories. So if somebody is selling something to Daman and Diu, yes, it will be coming under the category of outside state, that is interstate. Similarly, somebody is going to sell something from Mumbai to Pune, then it is going to be intrastate, that is within the state. So that is intrastate, that is within the state, and interstate, which is outside the state. Now, accordingly, the intrastate is divided, the taxes, the GST is divided into two parts. And it is equally divided. So if this GST is, let's say, 10%, then it is 5% and 5% equally divided into two categories. One is CGST and SGST. C is for central government, central GST, and this is state. See, what basically is, we should understand that GST is made applicable because the state and the government, state government and the central government needs money to run the country. Okay, they need money to run the country, and accordingly they are taxing us so that they can get some revenue and they can get good amount of money to run the country. Okay, so that is the reason this one, when any particular material is being sold within the state, यानी मुंबई से मुंबई में बेचा, या मुंबई से पुणे में बेचा, मुंबई से नागपुर में बेचा, ओके, या दिल्ली और दिल्ली के बीच में बेचा, या तो गुजरात में ही अहमदाबाद से बड़ौदा में बेचा. So when it is within the same state, then the GST payable, whatever is the GST amount payable, the GST which is supposed 10%, then 5% of the GST will be given to the central government and 5% will be given to the state government. So in your bill, you will find two columns. One, how much is the CGST payable and how much is the SGST payable. The sum of that will be equal to the total GST you paid for that article. So suppose it's a 100 rupee article, the cost price of the article is 100 rupees, and if the tax is 10%, then 5%, that is 5 rupees, is going to go to the CGST and 5% will go to SGST, and hence the total what you paid is 100 plus 10 rupees, that is 110 rupees. We will see that thing much more detail when we see the sums, but this is for your understanding that whenever the transaction is within the state, whenever the buyer and the seller both are in the same state, then the taxation what is going to be applied will be not a single tax, but will be two taxes divided into one tax divided into two parts, that is 5% each or 50% each. One will be called as CGST given to the central government, and other will be SGST given to the state government. And if the taxation is such that it is going to be sold outside the state, for example, then if the GST is 10%, then this kind of a GST will be called as IGST, that is integrated goods tax. So it will be IGST, which is the tax which is integrated GST, which is a combination of these two. So but this goes directly to the central government. There is no money given to the state government if the taxation is good or if the sale is between two states. So if I sell some material from Mumbai to Ahmedabad, means from Maharashtra to Gujarat, then neither the Gujarat government nor the Maharashtra government gets any tax at all. The complete tax which is applicable on this particular material will be given to the central government only. Okay, understood? In case the supplies are made outside the state, then the complete tax collected will be given to the central government and nothing given to the state government. State government gets the money only and only when the material is sold within the state. मुंबई से मुंबई में, या मुंबई से अहमदाबाद, मुंबई से पूना में, मुंबई से नागपुर में, मुंबई से रत्नागिरी में. So when it is being sold within the state, only then the state government gets the money. If the material is sold outside Maharashtra or from one state to another state, both the states do not get any tax at all. Okay, so this way it is seen that the taxations are going to be segregated and given to the government for their working. Okay, so this is the main important part about the calculation of taxes. Now it is always seen that taxation calculation कैसे होता है, तो it is a simple formula that tax will be equal to, so we see that the tax amount is equals to ST percent or in sales tax percent of CP, sorry, SP. SP will always be after the discount and everything being calculated. So finally, like suppose I am going to I buy this shirt. Now this shirt costed 2000 rupees and this 2000 rupees का shirt जो है उसपे ऊपर मुझे समझो 50% discount मिला. So this 2000 shirt is I am getting for 1000 rupees. So I pay a GST of whatever percentage on 1000 rupees and not 2000 rupees. I pay on the final discounted value of this particular shirt. So accordingly it will be, suppose the taxation over here is 10%, so it will be 10% of 1000. So I will buy this material for 1000 plus 10% of 1000 and 100, and I will get this shirt effectively at 1100 rupees. Okay, and because I am buying within Mumbai, so मैं मुंबई में से ही खरीदा किया, इसीलिए that 100 rupees which is the tax. So it is this way. See, selling price is equal to 1000. Now the taxation will be, because it is within Mumbai, so it will be SGST 5% and CGST 5%. Accordingly, it will be 50 rupees and 50 rupees. So total bill value will be equal to 1100 rupees in this manner. So this is how the bill will be calculated. The cost price of the shirt is 1000, SGST 5%, CGST this much percent. Okay. Now in the same case, if I had gone, suppose I went abroad, I went to some another state and then I said that I am going to Mumbai and I want to buy something, and that's why suppose I had gone to Calcutta and then the SP will be equal to rupees 1000, and then he is not going to charge me SGST because I say that the bill has to be made in the name of Mumbai. So that's why it will be IGST, which will be equal to 10%, which is 100, and accordingly over here the cost will be rupees 1100. So for me it doesn't make a difference. I am paying here also the same amount, here also the same amount, but here the state government got 5% and the central government 5%, but here the central government only got rupees 10% completely. So that is the difference between the different kinds of taxation. So I think we understood whatever was required for the first exercise of this chapter. We'll start with the first exercise of the chapter, and then whatever is the next part, which is again some complicated part, we'll take up next time when we are starting the second exercise. So right now we'll stop here and start in this video, and we'll start with the next video with exercise 1A.